From the state capitol in Hartford, I'm Jeff Zeiner. On this special edition of Meet the Leaders, I welcome Eric Berthel. He is a freshman legislator from the town of Watertown and Woodbury. The 68th House District is what he represents, formerly represented by Sean Williams. You remember Sean on previous broadcasts of Meet the Leaders. Eric, a pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you, Jeff.
I guess,
Glad to be
this
here.
is your home turf, so you probably should be welcoming me to the state capitol.
That's right. That's right.
I'm
welcome.
The visitor
Welcome
today,
to the state capitol.
And you're the veteran here in terms
right.
of at least me being the visitor.
Sure.
So
sure.
welcome to have you with us here on Meet the Leaders.
Thanks for
Eric,
having me.
You bet. Eric, if you would, just fill us in on what you heard from the governor today during the budget address. This is your first budget address as a state legislator. What did you think?
Well, you know, I think we heard a lot of really great ideas today. I think we can agree in principle that there are certainly a lot of issues that are affecting our state right now. The governor spent a great deal of time talking about transportation and some really fantastic ideas and plans for how we can fix what is a crumbling and not quite completely broken infrastructure for roads and rail and whatnot in Connecticut. The issue becomes, how do you pay for it?
Exactly.
How do you pay for it? And I have not had a moment yet. You know, we just the ink is still wet on the budget books. I've not had a chance to dive in, but the dollar cost to do this is astronomical. And I'm not saying we don't need to do it, but we have to find a way to pay for it. And,
tolls or no tolls?
You know, the jury's kind of still out for me.
Yeah,
on
he
that.
didn't mention that.
Did
today.
not mention it. I think tolls, depending on how they are structured. And I mean, from the cost, from the way they're implemented, who they affect, there's a whole lot of information we still need to know before I'll make any yay or nay on that at this point.
One thing that caught my ear, and it might be a good vantage point for you, coming from the Watertown area and the Naugatuck Valley, he called the Mixmaster in Waterbury the most notorious interchange in New England. Time to do what he says and fix it?
Definitely.
Okay.
I have been driving on that road. You know, I've been driving for, gosh, I guess 30 years I've had my license, a little longer than that, and have driven on that section of highway almost every day of my life. It's broken. It needs to be fixed. It's dangerous. It is well beyond its useful life, and it's well beyond the capacity that it was ever built for. So yeah, it definitely needs to be fixed. And if we had to make priorities, of course, that would be something that I would be very strongly in favor of fixing the Mixmaster.
Well, one thing that you want to do specifically, Eric, and let's bring it back home to Watertown now, you have made a proposal to rename part of Route 63. Tell us what you want to do.
I have. Route 63, of course, is a state road known as Straits Turnpike in Watertown. I have proposed a bill that's already had a public hearing to name a section of that road in honor of the late Guy Bazzano. Guy was the former chairman of the Watertown Board of Ed. Prior to that service, he served as a regular member of the board. Was an incredible, just a dutiful servant to the people, and gave of himself freely. There wasn't anything he could be asked to do that he wouldn't do, and made the education of our children and keeping the focus on that and making sure that we were spending dollars appropriately. You know, in Watertown, we work very hard to bring good budgets for school purposes to the people. Guy was such a huge advocate for that. Even in the years before he got elected, he organized phone banks to get people to come out before he had any vested interest in this as well, with now his own children in that. I think it would be a wonderful way for people to remember his service, to have a section of roadway in our great town named after him.
Well, that's great, Eric, and we wish you well with that.
Thank you.
Final minute, what would your priorities be for this session and for your life as a state rep, very quickly?
Well, I think that we have to keep taxes under control. That was the premise that I ran on. That's the promise that I made to the people that supported me. It's something we need to do. We have to stop the burden of increasing taxes on the middle class in Connecticut. You know, we keep spending. There's not going to be anyone left ultimately to pay this bill that we keep creating every year. So that's my promise.
Well, and that's a good one. And as we wrap this up, Eric, we want to wish you well.
Thank you very much.
All the best to you.
Thank you very much.
Our guest has been Eric Berthel, a Republican from the 68th House District representing Watertown and Woodbury in the beautiful Naugatuck Valley. We wish him well in his first session here at the state capitol. And I'm Jeff Zeiner as we continue this session of Meet the Leaders here at the state capitol in Hartford.